Obviously very excited. Happy for the three guys that just left this room. Happy for Michael Carrera, Minda, and Lamo, and Ty Johnson, and guys that signed up to be a part of this, to help us build this. It's postseason basketball. It's been a grinding 5 years, and it's fun to be a part of it again. There's nothing like the NCAA tournament. It's an unbelievable experience, and the one thing I've told our players is, don't just be happy to be in it. Be focused and prepared to make a run. Now that we're in this exclusive group, because there's no free passes handed out to get in this tournament. This is not favors for people. You earn your way into this thing, and contrary to popular belief, we didn't limp to the finish line. We actually played some real good teams and fought our tails off, which has prepared us for postseason play. So very proud of my guys.
Dave?
Frank, what was the build-up to this day like? I mean, was there nervousness? Were you pretty confident about this announcement?
I was nervous. I was not nervous one bit. I've coached NCAA teams. I know when I got an NCAA team. I'm extremely proud of the committee for respecting our team and its accomplishments, and rewarding our guys for the schedule they played and the teams we played. Extremely proud of the SEC, the other coaches in this league. Yeah, that coming down the stretch, yeah, we didn't win some games. We were 6-6 our last 12. We lost to NCAA teams. We didn't lose to bad teams. We didn't lose to teams that make you lose a little credibility. And being a part of that in the past kept me sane, because I know that's how it works.
Most coaches who get a bid on Selection Sunday seem pretty happy and smiling, and you don't seem that way. You seem like you're ready to go coach your team and kind of run them through a brick wall. I mean, why the kind of mood that you're in right now? It's
tired, Phil. Tired. I don't get to sleep till 10 in the morning every day, Phil. I don't sit around and criticize other people for a living. I get to deal with 18-year-olds and try and help them understand how to manage the fallacies that the public creates, and in today's social media tries to pollute the minds of 18 and 19-year-olds. I'm tired. I'm the happiest man in the world. I'm happy with my players and my staff. I can't be happy sitting in this room when the opinion is that we weren't very good coming down the stretch. So why would I be happy when people have been critical of our team coming down the stretch? I'm proud of my guys. I was laughing my rear end off in the locker room a minute ago. I'm ecstatic, man. It's time to work.
Coach, you talked about just how proud you were of the players who signed on to be a part of this. You also signed on to be a part of this. Mm-hmm. How emotional a moment was this for you, knowing you spent 5 years building this thing and to finally deliver on what you set out to do for the city of Columbia, Gamecock Nation, and this university?
It was a powerful moment for me. Going into the show, I thought we were going out west to be an 8-9. That would have been my, not because that's what the shows are saying, and just from my experience, based on our numbers, the games we've won, our record, all that stuff, I kind of figured that we had lost some games that would have helped us be a higher seed, which allows you to stay closer to home. But like we didn't win some of those games, we kind of lost that strength. But if we stayed on the East, I thought maybe we'd be a 10 just to keep us East. And so when that board came up, I kind of expected, if this is it, we're going to be the 10 seed. And when I saw the 7 and I saw South Carolina come up next to it with that beautiful Block C, I was standing with my wife, and I didn't realize that was us. and pretty powerful moment for me. Maybe that's also why I'm a little serious right now, because it's been a pretty emotional last 48 hours for me. You know, but it's when the season ends, that's when I usually separate from the work and I kind of reflect. It's going to be powerful. You know, it's been a fun ride, fun ride. And, you know, and I'm hard on kids. I know that. They know that. They sign up to be here, to be a part of that. They don't come here and use that as an excuse. And that's what makes it even more special. They're not a bunch of whiny babies that complain. You know, they don't run home and take their ball with them when things don't go their way. They come back the next day and they take on the challenge and become men. Which, by the way, I remember somebody, I don't think he's in the room right now. No, I don't see him. But I remember somebody, my second year or third year, because I talk about helping young people become men all the time, publicly stating that he's tired of hearing me speak about making men. That if that's what I was concerned with, I should have joined the Army. That we need to start winning games. If he was here, I'd tell him today. I hope he understands that I like winning games too.
You touched on it briefly, but you know, being in Greenville, how big of an advantage could that be? I know there was a strong turnout for the women's tournament up there.
It's you know, here's the problem for us right now, and our fans are all rookies to this right now. Okay, when you've been in this tournament 4 times in 43 years, there's a lot of fans that don't really know how to handle this right now. Unfortunately for us, 2 of the schools that are in this bracket have huge followings, and they're in it every single year. So I got to think their fans for the last 2-3 weeks have been buying every ticket they can get. So we'll accommodate, you know, based on I know they're going to take up all the tickets they make available to us, which is the same they make available to every school. And then we got to figure out a way. Our fans will come. I don't know if you remember the Clemson game up there last year. That didn't look like Clemson's home game. That looked like Carolina's home game. And so our fans that can get their hands on tickets are going to be there. You know, our fans. You know, you don't finish 13th in the country in attendance and go to the NCAA tournament and have fans that don't show up. They're going to figure out a way to get in there. It's all new to everybody right now. 04, 13 years ago is the last time we were in this thing. 73 is the last time we won a game. Got a chance to do some special things, man.
Cinderia said the only thing they know about Marquette is that they're a good team because they're in the tournament. What do you know about Marquette?
That their trainer weighs more than me. That's the truth, too. He was my trainer at K-State. Wojo and I have become friends over the years. That's why Wojo hired my old trainer. Brandon Yoder's his name. They've got a young man on their team that's had a heck of a year that used to be at Asheville. Rousey's his last name. Can really score, can really shoot. They've got a couple big guys that are very good. Offensively, they can score with the best of them. I've watched them play live a couple times because of my friendship with Wojo, and obviously I like seeing the trainer at the end of the bench because he makes me look skinny. So I enjoy watching him on the bench a little bit. There you go, Phil. Got a smile out of me, you know. And so they're a good team. I just told our guys, because this is new to our guys too, you know, every team that's in this tournament has earned their way into this thing through winning, and winning is hard. So they're all battle tested, and then you also deal with the emotion of every team that not only are they good, but they know that every team in this knows that the next time you don't win a game, it's over. So everybody's even more connected than they were when they earned the right to be a good team to get in this thing. So, but it's an unbelievable rush of emotion and fun, and They're going to play real hard. I don't know if you remember Wojo as a player. He's not going to accept anybody that doesn't play hard. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Coach, you mentioned the fans, the players are new to this moment. You've been well-versed in the NCAA tournament. You've seen how crazy March Madness can get, that Xavier game specifically a few years back. How do you prepare this team and this community for what we're about to experience here?
And just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride. It's a special, special thing. It's the beauty of this tournament. It's you don't get to play the same team 6 times to figure out a way, or 7 to figure out a way to win 4. It's a one-shot deal, and it's a rush of emotions that, you know, and you know, as a fan, as a player, as a coach, you line up and play, and hour and a half, hour 40 later, you're either happy for about 45 minutes or you're crushed. There's no in between. And I said a long time ago, I want fans that want to take this ride with us complete from top to bottom. I want them to cry with us. I want them to bleed with us. I want them to go home mad when I'm mad. And I want them to celebrate with us. And when it's time to throw a party, I want them all there because they experienced every single emotion we experienced. We're starting to get to that place as a program. You know, our fans are riding that wave with us, you know. And I want them to enjoy this whole week. This whole week should be a week of celebration for what these kids have done. And I want our fans to be excited, proud, realize how hard it is to get in this tournament. I read something, when you lose early in your conference tournament, you have so much free time, you end up reading a lot, which is not good sometimes. But that since the last time we were in the NCAA tournament, 201 different schools have been in the tournament. You know, so fans need to understand there's been a lot of people that are a lot smarter than I am, coach here before me. We've had a lot of great players. Some of them are in this room right now that laid it on the line and didn't get to play in the tournament or didn't get to win in the tournament. And, you know, our fans need to be proud of our guys right now. They've been unbelievable, and they've earned the right to be a part of something special and given us something to brag about and, you know, be proud of.
We all know how much you respect the history of college basketball. I believe this is the 40th anniversary of Marquette's national championship team in 1977. I think they won it over at the Omni in Atlanta. And Marquette has a very strong basketball tradition throughout the years. So, number one, are you happy that you're playing a team that has such a strong basketball tradition? And what influence, when you were a young coach back in the 70s and 80s, did Al McGuire have when he was coaching Marquette to all those titles and championships up there in the Marquette? Yeah,
I mean, as long as Butch Lee don't show up to play for them, I'll be okay. If he shows up, we might have a problem there. But no, Marquette's one of those programs. From being in Cincinnati, not just watching from afar back then, and you know when I was young, and Al McGuire is just such a I'm trying to think, refreshing. You know, he didn't come out like from the coach's mannequin booklet. You know, he didn't. There's no such thing as coach speak when he spoke. He was his own man, and he ran his program his way. He had his personality. He didn't part his hair the way everyone else parted their hair. He didn't wear the same suit everyone else wore. He was his own man, and that's what I got excited. That's what got me into coaching back in the 70s and 80s, where everybody can kind of be themselves. We didn't all have to look the same and act the same to be a good coach. And that's what I remember about Al McGuire. You know, just he was who he was, and his teams loved playing for him. I got to know Marquette up close when I got hired to Cincinnati. We're in the same league. One of Huggs' main guys went to Marquette with Tom Crean. He was Huggs' trainer. He went to Marquette to be like an assistant athletic director overseeing basketball. And so we spent a lot of time in Marquette. When we went to K-State, We scrimmage Marquette. Then Buzz Williams got the job there. Buzz is one of my closest friends. We continued to scrimmage, spoke a lot about their culture, what the everything Marquette basketball was about over the years. Playing in that building, every time you play up, there's 14,000 people coming to see them play. It's one of those basketball-rich, powerful schools, and now Wojo's there, and Wojo's done a great job. The transition period between Buzz to where now Wojo's got them with their identity, with his identity, the way he wants them to play. And that's hard. Taking over a run where Crean and Buzz had been so successful and coming from the outside, because remember, Buzz was Crean's assistant, and now coming from the outside, regardless of his being affiliated with Duke, and being able to kind of elevate that program again, that's hard. You don't do that unless you got real good players and players that are connected and coaches that are connected. And it's one of those storied programs. It's unbelievable history, great city, great basketball university. It's going to be great for us. It's going to be great for us. It's great for South Carolina to play one of those basketball schools that has a lot of credibility because of its history and nationally and things of that nature.
Joe and then Dave.
Coach, last time we talked, you just said you wanted to see you guys be a little tougher. Do you perhaps think this moment will actually make them a little freer, maybe more relaxed, be able to get back to the principles and identity that this team had, for most of the season?
Yeah, we weren't very tough at Alabama the other day. We got pushed off screens, we got pushed for rebounds, we got beat on loose balls, and maybe my post-game comments were more frustration that Alabama beat us in those departments 2 times this year. I'm not used to losing in those departments. It's not kind of what I like. I don't enjoy. I know you guys want to see us play free and run up and down and score 98 points a game, and I like playing the game the right way. And the right way is winning the plays that you control, which are all those effort things. And the 2 times we played Alabama this year, I felt we didn't. But all that, you see, here's the thing, Joe. Everything that took place since the first day we got together back in August up until that Alabama game on Friday was meant to give us the opportunity to be sitting here talking about this right now. Every single thing, every conversation, every good day, every bad day, every discipline, every moment of joy, every tear, every cut, every sprained ankle, everything. Every single thing we did since August to Friday, whether it was a positive or a negative, a good, a bad, a win or a loss, it doesn't matter. It was about to harden us, to create an opportunity for us to be good enough to be able to be sitting here talking about this right now. This is a brand new season. This has nothing to do with Alabama and where we tough enough last week or were we not tough enough or we were tough enough in December but not in February. It has nothing to do with all that. It has nothing to do with the fact that Arkansas came in here and they were kind of scrambling as a team and they beat us and they won 7 of the last 8 games and make it to the – that's nothing – all that's irrelevant right now. All that is completely irrelevant. We obviously are a very good basketball team, or else we don't get respected like the way we did by the committee. We're obviously a very good basketball team and earned its way into this tournament, which, like I said, it's not like they wake up and say, you know what, I kind of like those guys. They play hard. Let's put them in. It doesn't work that way. And all this is brand new. It's like back first day of practice in October again. It's all brand new. And there's a youthful energy anytime you do something new that gets everyone excited. That's the way we'll be. And everyone in the country that's in this tournament will be the same way. All 60, what is it now, 68? Is that what it is? All 68 will be the same way.
Any more questions for Frank? Anybody else?
You've talked for a while, years in fact, and we've talked in Destin about this, about the SEC and how they're disrespected. But now this year they got 5 teams in. Do you think that finally now the people nationally, including the committee, are finally beginning to realize that SEC does play a pretty good brand of basketball?
I'm not worried about the national guys. I've said it long and hard, Scott. The national guys, they don't come here to watch us play. They piggyback on what you guys report. I want you guys to understand that the SEC is good. So you guys start reporting that it's good. And you guys stop branding us losing at Vanderbilt like, oh, I can't believe they lost that game. The world's coming to an end. How do you lose at Vanderbilt? When you guys start respecting our league, the national guys will start respecting our league. Us coaches respect this league. Go ask, I've said it a bit, don't ask me. Ask Ben Howland, Rick Barnes, Bruce Pearl. Ask Cal. They'll tell you. They've been in other leagues. They got no reason to lie. They got no reason to sit there and say this league's good if it's not. Go ask those guys. Mike Anderson, you go ask those coaches that have been unbelievably good in other leagues what they think of this league. And we need the people that cover our schools for our communities to stop saying that our league's no good, because then the national guys piggyback on what our local medias report. National guys, they don't report what I tell them. I know what I tell them, what I tell you. They report what you guys write and what you guys report. And it's not just our media market. It's a lot of the SEC media markets. We need to change that rhetoric because our league is good, and it's very well coached, and it's been recruited at a high clip, and the players play real hard, and it's hard as heck to win. I just got into it with a national guy yesterday. I didn't like the fact he took a shot in social media at the fact that Kentucky's playing inferior opponents. So I picked up the phone, and I don't do the social media arguing stuff. That's not my cup of tea. I'm more man-to-man. I called him. I said, yo, man, I'm really tired of your nonsense. Do me a favor. Don't ever call me for anything anymore. It makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Last question to Phil.
We see it all the time. Even a team that might lose early in its league tournament gets to the NCAA, gets hot, and makes a run. From your experience as a coach, what gets a team going and can lead to a run in the tournament?
Yeah, Phil, we lost in the first round of the Big 12 tournament and won our first game, and we played in the conference championship in the Big 12 in 2010, and what I can argue is the highest level competitive game I've ever been a part of. I mean, it was an unbelievable game in front of 19,000 people and made it to the Elite Eight. I think it's two separate entities, two completely different animals. I think the most overstated thing is teams that make it to their conference championship game play tired. We've been playing conference championship level opponents in the SEC game after game after game after game for 18 consecutive games. These guys don't get tired. You're challenged. The most important thing is how you manage the week from a focus standpoint. Do you get your players, your coaches start paying attention to all kinds of stuff. I can tell you this, the biggest regret I have in my whole coaching career was someone said the Xavier game earlier today. We played Xavier, got back to the hotel 1:30 in the morning, and because it was the last game out in the West, got back to the hotel 1:30 in the morning, watched film all night, and the NCAA determines your practice times and the game time. They wanted to show the Kentucky-West Virginia game at the prime time slot on Saturday, so they made us, the West Coast game, us and Butler, play at 1 p.m. tip-off on Saturday, West Coast. And so why do I share all that with you? So now I've got to deal with Friday as a coach. I've got a team that just played a double overtime game, got back at 1:30 in the morning, the hotel, has to turn around and play at 1 p.m. on Saturday. And I said, these guys have laid it on the line for me every single day. I'm not making them practice. So we went to a gym. We didn't tape. We walked. We shot some balls. We talked about what we needed to do. And we went out and played like we were in slow motion on Saturday for the first 20 minutes of the game. And my biggest regret in my coaching career is that I didn't make them go hard, because that whole year we went hard. And maybe I should have made them go hard for 45 minutes and just had a short practice. But as a coach, I go back and think about that day all the time. Kids don't get tired. You know, we went through a stretch this year, and you guys heard me say it for, I can't remember what game it was, where I thought I overdid it a little bit. You know, it wasn't because physically they were tired, it was mentally. And you gotta get rid of distractions, and you gotta have a free mind and go out there and have the time of your life. And they gotta shoot every ball like they're shooting it in their backyard with a friend, and then they gotta play every play defensively like they're getting ready to fight a tiger. And just lay it on the line, man. And when it's over, it's over. And if you won, I'm telling you, you enjoy it for 45 minutes, and then you start getting overwhelmed with your next opponent, which is on you right away. So I don't think there's a set plan. But I think that's the most overstated thing, that if you go deep in your conference tournament, you don't succeed in the NCAA. Where it gets hard sometimes is if you make it to Sunday, if your conference championship is on Sunday, and you play Thursday, and you have to travel a long ways, that can complicate things a little bit. But I think, did you raise your hand a second ago?
I was just going to ask, with playing so close to home, does that change the logistics of this next week at all compared to maybe going farther away?
Yeah. I much rather get on a bus and go an hour and a half than get on a plane and travel 6 hours. Anytime you got to go change time zones, it's an adjustment. And we've played in that building. We've won in that building. Not everyone on our team, but guys on our team have. It's having the security blanket of knowing that your friends and family are with you makes it powerful. You know, when you go all the way across the country or a different time zone or whatever, you don't know what you're getting into. It's a whole lot better. The less you travel, the easier, the less the stress on the team. And that's for a regular season game and obviously an NCAA tournament game. Thank you.